everyone. Thank you for joining. Today we are holding our Jamaica Select Board regular meeting for Monday, November 27, 2023. It is at 7:02 p.m. The first thing I will do is call for any late additions to the agenda. Greg.
At the last meeting, we pushed off approving the November 7th meeting minutes.
Correct. Okay, terrific. Any other late additions to the agenda? No, great. Okay, so second item on the agenda is...
Sorry, there is one more. We have, Mike and I like to discuss a change order to the proposal or the contract or whatever for the Goodville.
For Goodville.
Yep, sorry, forgot.
Yep.
Mike.
I was kind of hoping that would be a wash, but...
Right.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the November 13 regular meeting of the Select Board. Second. Thank you. Any discussion on those minutes? No discussion, I'll call the vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion next to approve the minutes of the November 7th special meeting of the Select Board. Second. Thank you. Any discussion on those minutes? No? With no discussion, I'll call the vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
None opposed, thank you. The next is our regular third topic, which is our efforts to complete repairs following our July flood event and our submissions to FEMA. So I think we are done with RFPs for 2023, correct?
Correct. We do have some that are being worked on now or will be shortly this week. Sorry.
New ones.
Ones that have been approved, but they're part of
okay, the work is
project.
beginning, right.
West Wyndham Road.
Okay, right.
Well,
But the work is beginning, but no, we're not gonna be soliciting any further work in 2022 and probably in the winter of 2023. That's, so we're in a quiet period.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, terrific. Just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of that. Why don't we take this as the opportunity, since it's the RFP section of the FEMA discussion, we could talk about the change order that's been requested or made necessary by what was discovered at Goodville.
Right. So today we met with the contractor, A.S. Clark, and Scott Jensen, Mike and I, and the Clarks had recognized last week when they brought their equipment in that there was some additional scouring under the downstream wing wall, and that the original quote was really only looking at the upstream, and that there was some riprap that was needed to, they need to repair underneath the scouring under the wing wall. There's a small bit that's scoured under the abutment, and then also to put riprap underneath the bridge. So that was not included as part of the original scope. And I don't have, do you have the numbers in front of me? I guess they did come back today.
$11,200.
So they came back with a cost of $11,200. Mike had put the numbers together. It's still adding that to their bid. They're still the lowest bid.
Right.
So it's definitely work that has to be done, and I'm grateful that they recognized it there, and that they can get in and get that done at the same time that they're underneath the bridge.
Now I thought, and maybe I misread or misunderstood, that there was a wing wall that was originally going to be replaced that doesn't need replacement?
No, that one still needs to be, that was included in the original scope.
Right.
That one's going to be removed. It will not be put back until the spring.
Right,
So
okay.
it's going to be temporarily hardened, just with large stone and riprap.
Okay, but that was
That's
originally
part of the original.
anticipated. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So that it was not necessarily necessary that the low downstream wing wall
Right.
be replaced.
Okay.
That one's still solid, and it's still sitting, I mean, it's just one little section that had been, undermined or whatever.
Okay.
With the high water, or higher water, it wasn't as visible as it is now, so.
Okay, all right. Any action that you feel is necessary there, or this is really
No,
more
I
in the
think
nature
it's
of an
probably
update?
best protocol that we approve the change order, that additions to the work order.
Do you want to make a motion?
I will
Since you have
make
the
a
numbers?
motion that, I'm sorry, forgot the number again.
$11,200.
11,200. So I will motion that we have our current contractor, A.S. Clark, do the additional work that was recognized to repair the scouring under the downstream wing wall and the abutment for the cost of $11,200.
Second. Any discussion beyond what we've been, questions? Okay. With no further discussion, I'll call the vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you. We have quite a few completed projects with funds spent to date. So I'm going to, sorry, unless you have it handy, but I have it right here. So we have funds committed to date. Oh, you didn't do the total? Let me do the total. You didn't do, did you sum them or no?
It was like a 1,150,000 or something like that.
5, 2, hold on. Yeah, 1.3 or 1.4. No, that can't be. Hold on. Let me just do the math.
And are those all, while she's doing that?
Okay, it's 1.14.
Completed, done?
No.
Just in the works, agreed upon.
No, it's the magic of that number is that it's committed.
Right.
So those are projects that are either completed or work that was done by the town with materials of the town. So it's out of pocket, or awarded but not yet completed, is 1.14. But that's everything.
As far as we know.
Right. No. And it's a good question because now that I think about the Excel file, so the 1.14 doesn't that include our estimate of the cost to the town, even if it's not a third-party cost, or is that only third-party costs?
These are just the third-party.
Third-party costs, okay.
Generally.
Yeah, so
Which
just,
may vary from the cost estimates that we have.
right. But hopefully not too much, but yeah, okay. Does that, anything to add to that? Do we have a sense right now of how much of that has already been spent?
Out of the 1.14,
1.4.
most of it, I believe.
As most has
Yeah,
already
because
gone
we
out.
paid everything we've been billed.
Build, okay, all right. Well, I can,
That's where you got the number from, was all the bills I gave you. So yeah, that's all been paid out.
it's all been paid out.
And
All
there's
right.
still a few that are in work in progress, but the majority of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So at the next meeting, we'll be talking about budget for next year and our financial statements. We have a draft of the audit that we received today that we're reviewing. And we will begin our budgeting process, and I have an item later for that. And I'll come to the board with an update on obtaining a line of credit with the statements, the financial statements in hand. Anything else that we want to, I did notice, Mike, that we received an update on progress with respect to private properties.
Correct.
Did you have I know I'm
it's
calling you on
a,
short notice, but if you wanted to give us an update on that.
Well, we did get a memo from USDA, NRCS about the damaged properties. As I mentioned previously, we noted about 21 total that were either damaged buildings or areas. And right now, of the 21, they deemed 7 that would be eligible for funding, 6 that were viewed as not eligible, and then there were some others that they haven't made a decision on that I'm gonna follow up with.
Okay,
But there are other mechanisms financially for people to pursue these funds. This is really more focused on stream bank restoration where it was gonna take out a house potentially.
okay,
And with these funds, but there are other funds available through the state, through watershed division that could help out, like Diana's property on,
right, because I noticed Diana's property is not on that list, yeah.
so there are other mechanisms for people to seek funding. And we're just, this is kind of the first blush, but we're seeing what other options
Right.
there are to folks. And
So the submission that you helped put together, does that also get communicated to these other sources, or you have to make take an affirmative step to do that?
I am assuming, and that's it, that the USDA has reached out to these individuals because they've
Okay.
got lister cards, but I will follow.
That's what I thought,
up
all
with
right, okay,
But they have all the information, lister cards,
all right.
for those properties.
Now, the numbers that were on the letter, so the amounts, those seemed appropriate, you know, like fully loaded. So does that mean that those recipients are eligible for those funds?
If they so choose to, yes.
To avail themselves of them?
Yes.
Okay, but it's not a loan, right? Or is it a loan?
Again,
Don't know.
this is new to
Okay.
me, you know,
All right.
I'm still learning about this program.
Yeah, no, same. I just thought if you knew, yeah, but, okay. And how do they get notified? Do they each individually get a notification, or do we have to pass that on to them?
That's, again, I just.
Don't know.
Sunday,
Got it.
So
Okay,
I'll
okay.
follow up with Mr. LaPointe and we'll get.
Right, just letting people know that there's been some news, so can reach out to the town, if you didn't hear directly. I would hope they would have notified them directly, but, all right, thanks so much, Mike. I know I'm catching you, on the fly, so thank you for sharing what you were able to share. So the next, item on the, oh, go ahead,
Are we
please.
still on 2 or 3?
We would be if you have something,
I
yeah,
have
absolutely.
just a question on completed projects and it's maybe something I just didn't read, but like the Water Street project, is that considered done?
The embankment repair project is complete. I think they do need to do something with the road patch, but the timing's not really good for that.
Yeah, okay, I just wanted to make sure that paving, that was not considered complete.
No,
No.
it's gonna be, there's a few little items, so to speak,
Yeah.
like that. There's quite a lot of ditching that's still required, and stone lining, ditching, paving.
And the paving's gonna require some backfill underneath that, which.
The
it's different
paving
people
contractor generally does that
Does the
too.
backfill and this, goes right on the
Under
bank
the,
there.
under the pavement, they would do.
Okay.
They solidify the base or whatever, but that's not based on how late in the season is, that's not gonna happen
Yeah,
this spring
no.
or this fall. And it shouldn't pose a problem with plowing, it's just gonna be like plowing gravel road. But there are a number of little projects like that all over the
Yeah,
place. where
I
things
wasn't
aren't-
sure how much of that bank was included in what we had sourced for the embankment work versus the paving. I can look at that after.
Yeah, it's just the riprap. So it's the what they call the armoring of the wall. It doesn't include the road, work on the road.
Right, but the road goes up to the wall, and if it did not look like there is armoring on the wall up to the road in order to just be able to like fill it and pave it. Like if you do that, there's still an area right underneath that looks quite loose.
Is this kind of a pothole area you're talking about? Or-
Yeah, where there had been one
Yeah.
pavement patch, and then right where the guardrails are,
Uh-huh.
and there's quite a gap from the road and the guardrails and the riprap across from the wildflower meadow.
I'll take a look.
So not just where that little pothole
Like
is.
I mean, I'm not an engineer, but
Right.
in looking at it, if you just
Right.
just filled underneath it and paved it, you're just gonna have the same thing happen on the side again because there's no riprap built up to sort of protect the siding of the road.
Okay.
Just something to want to look at that before we say the contractor's done. If there was other pieces that that are part of that proposal versus the paving proposal.
Okay, great. Any other questions,
Yeah.
comments, concerns? Go ahead.
Mike, I'll point out, we can meet and I can show you what I'm talking about.
Yeah, just be careful, it's awfully slippery. It's crazy out. Okay, so we sent out a request for proposal. We posted, advertised, did a direct mail to providers. It looks like we've received 2 RFPs. So I'm gonna be perfectly frank, this is the beginning, not the end of this process. But a quick look, one is from Sam Woods, who's a local provider. And, oh, Sam, hi, nice to meet you. Great, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
So, you know, as all of you folks might recall, this is really about having someone come in, take a look at what our systems are currently, what systems we have currently in place, what hardware we currently have in place, to listen to our needs, our must-haves, what we think our must-haves are, and to give us advice as to what makes sense, both in terms of whether it's within a firewall, whether it's a hosted software as service, or SaaS solution, depending on the need, and what hardware needs upgrades are needed, including broadband. So, Sam, it looks like you've touched on just a very quick look on all of the support needs that we described, and you're offering your services at a rate of $125 an hour.
Yep.
And that you would engage in an annual support agreement for all hardware and networking, so software related needs that we had after. So thank you. I mean, that was basically, that's very helpful. The next proposal is from Infotech, which is a company based in actually West Lebanon, New Hampshire. And let's see. It's a little longer, has some description of the company, their folks, looking quickly, also touches on the items that they have the expertise in the areas that we need. And they actually start with a little bit of a proposal, but let's see. I do not see that they're giving us their rates per hour. Instead, it's set up as an onboarding fee, a one-time onboarding fee, and then a IT services and cybersecurity plan per month, which is, and I'm just not seeing the hourly rate. And I may hand this off to see if someone else can find an hourly rate anywhere in here. All right, Derek, you've looked at a lot of consulting proposals, I'm sure, right? Am I right? I'm gonna pass this down. I don't see an hourly rate in here anywhere, so it's like comparing apples and apples. So Sam, I don't think we can make a decision tonight, but your proposal looks complete to me, and I'm gonna pass this down as well.
Yeah, and I would agree that there's a lot to digest in there.
Yes,
To
yes.
make it in 5-minute decision.
No, well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
We don't
right. No,
have
I
what we
agree.
need to make a
I agree,
decision,
yeah.
so, yeah, exactly. So what we're gonna do is this, I'll probably recirculate a notice for a proposal, you'll just, I don't know if we're gonna tighten it up, I'm not sure.
Sure.
I'm not sure, quite frankly, this is amenable to an RFP in the way we structure RFPs generally, considering our experience of the response, that instead maybe it's a beauty contest, more along that line.
Sure.
In which case we would have you come in and we could have an iterative discussion
Okay.
and summarize results of those meetings. So I apologize.
Oh, that's perfectly fine. I
Yeah.
didn't expect to be decision tonight.
Oh, really? I was kind of hoping we would get competitive hourly rates and, but at the very least. So watch the space this week. We'll come back. I mean, we have to get this done quickly.
Sure.
So we'll come back to you, but,
So would you propose that we share these amongst the board, we can digest them, and that we put this on the agenda for approval at their next meeting?
I
Or is that
kind of
too
feel like
aggressive?
we have to rethink it and do it more iterative and come up with, I don't think we can do it as a blind submission. It's, we are not, we
Maybe an
didn't,
interview process, so to speak, or something?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, where, we, folks give us initial thoughts as to how they would approach it. We tell them that works, that doesn't work, now give me a price. And then we compare the prices. I don't think we can do it as a blind process. I mean, we're obviously not gonna share with each vendor. What do you think?
But you just did.
No, I mean, but it's gonna be, it's gonna, no, in the sense that we'll go through this process now,
Gotcha,
and,
gotcha.
it's not gonna be, we're not gonna be able to compare apples to apples now. And it's more than just, hourly rate, it's, et cetera, et cetera.
I got you.
Yep.
Did your proposal include a projected time for, anticipated workflow?
Timeframe on it?
Yeah, for the key things, not the ongoing maintenance, but for the,
No, but it would be, immediate as needed from you guys, so.
You mean completion?
yeah, well, more.
Yeah.
Or just to roll out?
Well, that was difficult to put a number on. That's not
Right,
as
because,
important
right,
here
you
is
didn't have
it's-
enough money, you didn't have enough information,
Yeah.
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 So,
I mean, I'd say that certain things could happen immediately, like to use the same term, the onboarding for the support and the monitoring and things like that. That would happen, immediately after going under contract, or however you wanted to approach it. And so,
Do you have any, and it's totally off the cuff, so not,
yeah,
you can just say no, I don't know. What other clients are something like this, like a monthly allotment of how much time you anticipate it might take, or some of those? Fees.
well, it depends, exactly on the needs, but things like the server, which I believe is the big ticket item, other than, the help desk support and all that. But the server, that's something that could be procured within a month or less, and then transition from the old server to the new one within about that same time frame. Like as soon as we get the equipment, we can get started on transitioning to the new one.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Just pull out that pricing.
any other questions for Sam while he's here? Put you on the spot.
It's fine. I did spend about 2 hours today in the office talking with Mike and Karen, Sarah and Ed.
Yes.
Yeah, so they gave me a little more detailed information as to your needs.
Great, great, great.
So I have a better idea of what you guys are looking for and how I can address those.
Have you done this sort of thing before?
I have, yes.
I mean, like,
Yeah, I did the town of Manchester
uh-huh.
for about 1.5 years, and I'm currently doing the IT for town of Sunderland.
Mhm.
They're in a similar position where we're transitioning them over to the new systems, new hardware, all the support and all that.
Okay. Thank you for coming, Sam.
You're
You'll be
welcome.
hearing from us this week and follow up, although it sounds like you got quite the debrief.
Yeah.
Anything else that you want to add to that? No.
I do have on there my list of references of, they're all local, to, Manchester, Dorset, Sunderland, Mount Tabor. I've done a lot of municipalities and that, so I have some experience with the needs of a smaller town.
Right.
And Mount Tabor is 3 people. 3, so, So, and town of Manchester is 50. So there's a good range in
Right.
between there.
Right.
And we did, when I say town of Manchester, we did the town hall, the police department, the rec park, water and sewage. We did the whole municipality, so.
Sounds great. Thank you very much. All right, Kate, did you want to, the next item is to continue our discussion of how best to tally.
Yeah, I've been in touch with Esther Fishman, who's the recycling coordinator for Londonderry, and they are very happy with their punch card system. They initiated it in 6 years ago, and what they do is they sell punch cards in increments of $2, so $10 for 5 punches, or you can get higher increments, and it's a different rate for businesses. But their custodian just is there, as ours would be, and people will say, oh yeah, it's $2 for a 13-gallon, up to 13-gallon bag, so if you wanted to use your paper bags or whatever. And what I don't know yet is how they figure out exactly what 13 gallons is, or 14 to 30 is a $4 bag in their case, so a $4 punch. So to me, that would be the one question I would have. How do you eyeball? People will just, she said, people will just say to the custodian, 2 small bags, and then he or she will punch it, twice for the 2 small bags. So they really are happy with it. She gave me a lot of information. They really thought it through, and they did a lot of outreach so that the community knew what was to be expected, and with the change, and they really like it. And I know there are numerous citizens, such as myself, who really don't want to use plastic bags, kind of backward in a way. So.
But people so they bring it in their plastic 13-gallon bag.
In their whatever, their bag, or
Paper bag,
it doesn't have to be
whatever.
paper, plastic, it could be paper bags.
Or like your
Oh,
dog
so-
food bag, you can reuse it.
Golfing
for
food
your
bag.
dog food,
Held bag.
Yeah.
No,
Would
it
this
has to
allow
be contained.
for people just to collect in their bucket and then dump their trash bucket instead of using no bag? Because I know that was something Nancy Jean wanted.
Yeah, I don't think so, but I didn't, she sent me this stuff today in great detail, so I don't know that part. How long will our bags last, the amount that we have now?
The blue ones, the rest of our lifetimes. The yellow and the green, probably another week or 2.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah,
Really?
that's what I've got. I think I sold the last case of yellow to the store today, so.
So we do have the blue though. so-
We have tons of blue.
Yeah, and I imagine we'd have to have a period where we would allow both systems to be in place while
Right.
people get used to it, if we decide to switch over.
But the thing is, we're almost out of the green ones, which are the smaller ones, which we don't sell as many, but I don't have a substitute, like I have the blue ones for the yellow. I don't have any more green.
Right.
So when we're out of these green, we're done with green till we get more.
Right.
Or get a new system.
What's the minimum order quantity, do you know?
Pallet, 72 cases.
Uh,
But what I sent you, the estimate, that's.
That's the minimum.
'cause
I'd say in the interim, we'd move
Blues,
into the blue,
right,
and maybe, I don't know how you work that in with the greens, but I mean, it sounds like the green ones might hold up a little longer because they're not as popular or whatever, not as
Right.
used as much.
Right.
Yeah, we don't sell as many green
Greens,
ones, so
right.
we probably got like a month or 2 of green
Maybe
ones.
cross that bridge when we get there.
But it takes like a month to get them in too,
Yeah.
from the time you order them, because they're all printed with our name on them. So
Right.
it's not like we can call them and have it.
right, and have it tomorrow,
Well, that's what happened with the blue ones. We just called them up and said, we need some.
right,
And they said, this is what we got.
Well, they couldn't do them during 2020, something was off, and those were all we
Right,
could
right.
get.
Right,
We couldn't
Because
get the
right.
others.
supply chain and everything.
yeah,
We, speaking as somebody who uses the smaller bags, I would have no problem having a bigger bag. I mean, I don't have any garbage in there anyway, except those nasty things that come with the meat, if you get meat. You can't
Yes.
just squeeze that.
Saturated.
Yeah. So, anyway, I would like to go this route, but,
I would
so no
put-
weighing, it's not by weight, it's by volume,
yeah.
when you talk about coming in a paper, bringing something in a paper bag, so is there sort of a general understanding of how many paper bags equal a 13-gallon?
That's what she was saying, there was. it
I
seems to
don't
be on
know,
all-
I haven't gotten that far with, because this just came up right before the holiday, and then I got in touch with Esther again.
Right.
This is with that, so that's not,
I wonder if Ernie could visit Londonderry.
I was thinking of visiting too, and
Yeah.
just seeing, you know.
Right, literally how it
Put it on a
works.
scale to weigh the trash and you pay by the pound.
I can't remember, Ernie had a reason why that doesn't work. Who does that?
Brattleboro, you drive in, you
Oh,
weigh
man,
your truck.
that's a huge
'cause I have to go to
expensive
Brattleboro.
scale.
Yeah, but that's.
Then you drive around and you go back and you get weighed again. And then
That's a
back.
big, big price.
I know that, but
Yeah.
that is an expensive piece
But
of
it could be
equipment.
like just a trash can. It doesn't have to be a car one. It could just be like, you put your trash can on this scale and now we know how
It's like,
much
does your
trash you
suitcase
have.
fit in this container, then you can take it on the plane. You know, same idea.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's volume,
Yep.
it's not weight
Right.
anyway.
Right, so if you just had like a scale, like you said, like the luggage one would be
Yeah.
perfect, you know, we probably couldn't leave it outside, but
Not even a scale, just something that
yeah,
gives a rough idea of the right size.
true. true,
Right.
You
Yeah.
just have a 13-gallon kitchen trash can and.
Right.
Fill it up and dump it.
Although those bags stretch.
A couple of comments I want to.
Then we have public too.
I would, just for your research, contact the Wyndham Solid Waste District. I mean, anybody down there would have some best practices, maybe what some other towns do. I mean, I totally think that we should rethink this, so I agree with that part, but I'm not quite sure we're ready to jump because we don't have the full solution. And then the other thing is, I don't know, maybe Ernie knows this too, is I'd be a little concerned if how loose things were. You know, when they're tossing them in there, and that if it's just, you know, really trash, ugly trash, and it's all
Loose
sitting on the
and-
dumpster, and there's flies, and there's bears, and there's, you know, what's the oozingness kind of thing? How's Casella gonna be concerned about it? How's all these factors, just other things, that's on my mind, so. I mean, because it can get messy up there if we're just tossing loose stuff in there.
I would imagine most people are gonna use plastic bags, unfortunately.
So at least it's not a double.
Paper?
Sorry?
I know like in Arlington, Mass, everybody has to do it in paper. They do leaf stuff, but you know, a lot of towns have those big paper bags. Could you use those instead? Has anybody looked into that?
What happened when this was before my time on the select board, when I know that they looked into compostable bags and they weren't strong
They don't
enough.
stay.
Right.
So I don't know
Oh, so
whether
they're made-
paper was
But
something
I mean,
that
like
was.
these, like you can cram in a lot of leaves.
It's okay to get groceries.
Right, but that's
from the
me.
paper bag.
It's like
But I mean-
regular garbage usually has some moisture. That's why I'm like,
Yeah.
how would
They're
a front
kinda
paper
lined.
bag?
They're-
Oh, they're lined
They're
with plastic?
like that, kind of like that packing material stuff.
Plastic.
Right.
I know nothing, absolutely
Right,
nothing about
right.
it, but I just think I mean, as a public,
Yeah.
um,
Arlington,
neighbor.
was that you said?
pardon
It
me?
was Arlington?
Arlington, Mass. Yeah, but I know they
Oh,
live in
Mass.
Mass, and I know where I used to live in Texas, the town you had to put your leaf stuff in, but that was leaves, like you said, so I don't know, but I mean, you could use it for
Leaves get
regular
wet.
trash.
Yeah.
They were pretty durable, but then it cost a lot, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Just, you know.
Well, I guess the issue is just, well, we have plenty of blue bags.
We have plenty of blue bags.
Okay, all right, so we're, at least we have a bridge
Yeah.
to a solution.
And in that bridge, if we do run out of green bags,
I'll cut the tops off the blue ones.
yeah, do they get 2 for 1 or, yeah, 'cause-
For people who wanna buy 20 at a time, you're gonna do that.
I'll get my-
Yeah, let us know when we're getting close to running out of
Okay.
green, and then we can decide
Yeah, I'll
if
check
there's
the keys
something.
tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you,
I'll-
Kate.
Yeah, I'll
but
make
I
a
think,
visit and
right.
see if maybe Ernie could go over sometime and I'll.
Because he'd
see if
have
I
to be
can contact
managing
Ernie.
that,
I used
yeah.
to live in Arlington, 1 year.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh. But, yeah, I mean, personally, I like the size versus weight, just because we'd have to get equipment, and then if it,
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know, it makes me a little concerned, because we have a thin staff, so we wouldn't talk about trying to find support So I think 13 gallons, that's kind of, you know, makes sense, and many of us have a 13-gallon, you know, garbage pail in our homes, so it's kind of, I don't know. I think it seems, again, not doing any research, like it might be a relatively easy concept for people to grasp onto. Yeah. Thank you, Kate. Should I put a follow-up on the next meeting? Okay, great. All right. We have a guest tonight. Please,
Kate, yeah.
please say your name to the camera.
My name is Kate Harris. I am a member of the staff at Brattleboro Development Credit Corporation. I also am a Jamaica resident, coincidentally.
Almost on the Townsend border.
In
fact, on the Townsend border.
On the Townsend border. I am the farthest east taxpayer. Anyway, but that said, tonight what I have to present to you, and you all, I don't know how much you know about what has happened in the past, what I can give you the annual report for. This is from, and I just have to have it. So, Brattleboro Development Credit Corporation has contracts with an organization called SeVEDS, which is Southeastern Vermont Economic Development Strategies. And it was founded as an affiliate of Brattleboro Development Credit Corporation in 2007, and with the idea that it would create regional strategies and attract resources that help us act together to build a thriving economy. So BDCC contracts with SeVEDS to develop and implement strategies in the Wyndham region. And the organization is guided by what they call a comprehensive economic development strategy, which is a 5-year regional plan, where the goals of what they say strengthen business, support people. The next SeVEDS, which is the comprehensive economic development strategy, it will happen in 2024. So what happens is we ask, SeVEDS asks for $3 per person for all the 27 towns that are served in this. And so for the town of Jamaica, we're asking for $3,105 based on a population of 1,005, which is lower than it was this past year. So what happened, you ask, what do we really do? And what BDC in July 2023, just the most recent things, BDC staff were on the ground to provide technical assistance to businesses that needed flood relief and help distribute flood relief grants on behalf of Vermont Community Foundation. So people applied and a lot of people got $1,500 checks. 3 businesses, Jamaica businesses, received grants totaling $4,000, and 8 received technical assistance from our staff. And in addition to the grant funds, BDCC provided an emergency working capital loan to a Jamaica business. So our business team provides access to technical assistance, micro-lending, and business succession services. And we worked with one business in Jamaica in 2023, in addition to all businesses from all the other places. But we support jobs for the majority of Jamaica, many Jamaica town residents who commute out of town to work, by working with hundreds of businesses, so local employers. Our workforce team created programs like, for example, Pipelines and Pathways. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. It was started to help high school kids learn more about what they can do in our region. So in October we had a reality fair, which was at Leland and Gray, and kids from Brattleboro came, kids from Twin Valley, from Bellows Falls, and basically learned how to tie a tie, learned a lot of different employers that are around, learned some common sense things, how to fix a flat tire or whatever, but mostly the point was to get them to learn that you don't really just have, once you graduate from high school in Vermont, you don't have to leave Vermont. There's a lot of opportunity right here. So all these things are like spinning tops that BDCC does with funding from SeVEDS. And SeVEDS is what we ask all the towns to do, and then we can leverage that money to bigger and better things, because if we say that we have this percentage of participation throughout the region, we can apply for grants and get support from that. So, do you guys have any questions? Have you ever heard of it, or is anybody, everybody?
I have, and
Okay. I can leave you with this, which is SeVEDS impact statement for Jamaica Town Report that's gonna be March 2024. It's a little convoluted because it's Brattleboro Development Credit Corporation is a nonprofit and they do all the work, but SeVEDS is like this think tank. And so they come up, people in the SeVEDS organization, it's a separate board, separate treasury, that money, and they come up with ideas, and then BDCC implements them. And it's forever changing, just as economics change, as COVID hit, all sorts of different things. The other thing I didn't mention is that BDCC is doing a lot of work with new Vermonters. So they're a whole group of Afghan people that came to Brattleboro, and I think there's some other, sorry?
Somali?
Yeah, or other people from other countries that come and
emigrated.
and for instance, like the Help Against the Grain, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that business, which is gluten-free pizza. They started, it was a husband and wife started it, and now it's owned by a separate company, but they need a lot of labor. And so a group of Afghan people went to work for them, and they had TESOL come in, teaching English as a second language, and help them all learn English during their lunchtime, or during different times of the day. And that is something that BDCC let them use space in their property that they own. So anyway, there's a lot of information, not only in the annual report, but on the website. And if anybody has any questions, just let me know.
So the next step is, as we meet to consider the budget, we will be looking at including the ask from BDCC to include it in the budget that we would recommend to the town.
Right, and if you have any questions, I mean, there's a lot of people that know a lot more than I do, and we can easily have them. Laura Sevilla, who is our state representative, works at BDCC when she's not at the State House, so she knows everything, so she's a better one, but I'm the point person.
Your timing is perfect.
Yes, exactly. They know that. Any questions? Karen?
How do the businesses in Jamaica find out about this? Do you contact them?
So
or
we have-
is it done through Mike or anything like that?
Nothing with Mike. I mean, I don't know Mike, so I don't know.
Our town administrator.
Okay, we have a newsletter that Laura puts out every 2 weeks, or bi-weekly, sorry. And it provides all sorts of information. So people are welcome to get on the mailing list, and we could perhaps put that in the, I don't know how we could get it to, but I do know a lot of people are on the list already. And I know two of my colleagues that have been up here all through the flood, trying to talk to people and explain what's going on. Because we do a lot of grants and grant programs and loan programs, and funding of different sorts, so.
I guess it just seems like
So
maybe better communication with the town might be good.
Well, for instance, so we did a petition last year, or 2 years ago, to get on in the budget process. And so we were at the store.
Right.
But I think you had already sold it. So you didn't get out the revolving door of BDCC employees that were here trying to get people to sign the petition. But that said, we could, I'm sure there's, more we can do. But everybody I talk to, I try and tell, like, if you need something,
It's good information to know.
yeah, and Laura's newsletter
We could
gives
all
a lot of state information, federal information, and a lot of, like, right now I'm working on a grant, small business technical assistance, that opened up for, I mean, there's 158 $4,000 pots that are available for around the state, but everybody, last Monday or Tuesday, everybody had to sign up and send in their application, and it was gone it filled up really quickly. So those are the kind of things that people have to know ahead of time to get ready, and I mean, there's a lot of that kind of stuff, so the newsletter gives you enough warning, and that's probably the best way to find out about stuff.
Yeah, I guess I'm just wondering if you could let the towns know, so then maybe it could be discussed at the town meeting or put on the town website or something.
Usually something is at the meeting,
Yeah,
at the town
last
meeting.
year,
At the select board meetings. If you could let the town know, then that could get out to maybe more people, that's all. I was just trying to think of-
I know, absolutely, and we're
ways.
gonna hopefully be upgrading our website as part of our IT upgrade.
So it could be.
It could be a link on the website.
Contact the library.
Oh, thank you.
A link, yeah. No, a banner ad.
Well, I could ask Laura to just send it to you, and then we could, would that make sense? I mean.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
what I'm thinking is a link, you know what I mean? Maybe part of this, would be services available to
Right.
townspeople and businesses, and there would be a link
Yeah.
there.
We should have everyone we give an appropriation to, if they have a website, it'd be kind of cool. just to
Absolutely.
Just so people know where their money's
Know where their
going.
money's going also.
Well, that's the other
Absolutely.
thing.
Really good way
Yeah.
of putting it, yeah.
And the $3 is, times 27 towns or times whatever, how many people, that money a lot of times gets parlayed into bigger, when we're applying for a grant, say you have whatever percentage participation, you can get more money. So it's leveraged into a couple $1 million worth of stuff, so. But I think the link to the newsletter would be really.
Yeah,
a
great idea.
Can you tell us, if you know offhand, what the history of Jamaica has been with contributing, or?
I know Jamaica paid recently, and I know they've done it, a couple of years, I believe.
Exactly.
2 years, yeah,
Yeah.
because we did.
I thought this
2 years
will be
ago,
the
that's-
third.
Yeah, this
Right.
will be the third
Yeah.
year, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I don't know how long other towns have been
Right.
funding, and I know there's some towns that have been late coming to, or, later in the process, some towns that flat out won't. And I don't know why, because I actually do the leasing, for BDCC, because we own the cotton mill in Brattleboro, and also a business park, near the Agway on Putney Road. And so we lease to all sorts of, including Against the Grain, different,
Small
businesses. Yeah, and historically artists, but now the artists are being replaced by businesses. It's a combination, so. Okay?
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Thank you so much for
Thanks for
coming.
listening, and like I said, Laura's better at this than I am.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. All right, so the next item on the agenda is the perennial favorite. It's a discussion of the appointment of the town health officer. Although it turns out we don't really formally appoint the town officer, and it's done by what's the organization that actually, what department was
Vermont
it?
Department of Health.
Department of Health,
Yeah, yeah.
actually. I guess we suggest,
Suggest something, yeah.
nominate,
No, yeah.
Yeah, and then the
and
Department
the
of
Health
Health basically
actually
makes
makes
the decision.
right, does the formal appointment.
Exactly.
So,
Officially not, I mean, we've always had a town health officer, but it kind of
It defaults to the chair.
Defaults to the chair, which was
Right,
me.
right,
And so the reason it's not, didn't come up 6 months ago at our appointment meetings is that we just thought, oh, I will just, it will
Keep
live
it.
with me. But
Right.
it turns out that it has to be more formal.
right.
I could say no, and you,
I know you could, believe me, I'm
but I've said,
well aware.
I mean, I don't mind doing it, and I will continue to do it. My schedule is a little congested, and so I will welcome and encourage other people to, it's a great opportunity to participate in the town, functioning of the town. But for now, that I will continue with it, but the search, so to speak, is always out there for some others.
Okay.
Somebody else, so to speak.
Right, so,
I mean, it's not all that time consuming, there's a few occasions where something pops up, but it's,
right,
um,
it's something on your plate,
yes.
definitely
right,
something on your
right,
plate.
So that's a little backstory, so sorry
Right.
if I interjected.
No, I think that's exactly what we needed to hear, and then that leads into, to the extent, I know I will obviously do it if need be, if you're, we don't find someone else at the time you want to step down.
Yeah, and I will continue for now, and I know Mike's offered to help out too, just from the administrative side of, help parse through some of the
Taking in
legal
the issues
aspects
as
of-
they,
yeah,
right.
and kind of how to interpret some of these things that go on, and,
Right.
I mean, there's always something different, so.
Right. So, well, first I'll make a resolution that the board nominate Greg Melmans as our town health officer.
Second.
Thank you. So just in terms of discussion, do you think you'd be willing to keep it until the next, until our April meeting when we appoint the new member
I would,
officers?
yes,
Okay.
The other thing, if I recall, and I haven't researched it too much recently, I believe it's a 3-year appointment, but obviously I can resign.
Right, exactly.
I do believe it's a 3-year appointment.
Yeah, I don't think there's any criminal punishment if you resign. You may get shamed, but no, but
Right,
seriously,
okay.
so, but that's really kind of what we should be thinking about, is trying to identify
Right, and it's a
someone.
good time to
If
really-
not the chair of the board, okay.
Chair's got a few other things going on too.
Yeah. Yeah. So any other discussion on that topic, questions? Paul?
Historically, we also had an assistant at one point for the, there was a busy period for the health officer back a few years ago.
Okay.
And there was an assistant, and I cannot remember what happened to that. Did that continue after I left?
I recall that also, but I don't recall the not legal, but the
Yeah.
administrative side of it, if it's technically a real thing, so to speak, from the state, or if it was just that, the health officer called for help, so.
No, for help.
The health,
Like if they're
health help.
unavailable, then the deputy.
The deputy,
Deputy.
yeah.
But we've never had one since I've been here. We've only all just.
Right.
And I will call for help if somebody needs it. I don't know if we want to appoint somebody or if it's just a matter of me reaching out to the resources that seem
Right.
appropriate.
Well, I would certainly view myself as, someone who you should come to if.
And certainly from an
Right.
awareness perspective
Right.
of what's going on, that's
Right.
worthwhile.
And then Mike's, expertise as an administrator would be, leveraged where we could, but,
I did it for 3 years, so.
Oh, you
I know,
did?
Yeah.
God bless. You want to do
I
it
didn't
again?
say it quite like that, but yes, I did it for 3 years. I'll gladly help Rick.
Okay. All right, any further discussion on that point? With no further discussion, I'll call the vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
I'll abstain.
Okay, we still have a quorum, so, we have a quorum without you. Thank you, Greg, for the time that you've already put into it, for not putting it on my plate.
Okay.
When the time, when you were eligible to do so, and we'll have to, have to diligently search.
6 month recruitment process.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, the next step is budgeting meetings. So we ordinarily do 2 sessions in the month of December. We schedule them for 3 hours. We don't always need 3 hours. I don't want to do the first one too soon because we want to get through the audited financials and the Excel file. So that gets us,
Not only Christmas either.
But on the other hand, we don't want to do it on Sunday the 24th. So if we said Sunday the 10th and Sunday the 17th.
I have plans to come.
You have plans the 10th?
I do too.
Oh, good, I don't feel bad.
Like
I never have plans.
So we don't
but I-
have to do it Sundays.
We don't have to do it Sundays, and working backwards, we need everything official
Oh,
for the
yeah,
town
let's do
report
that.
by 3rd week in January,
Third
right?
week in January.
So we
Yes.
technically
So we
have
could do
one of
one
those
in
weeks
January.
early January
Alright,
to
Alright,
nail it
yeah,
down.
Christmas.
Sunday the 17th, can we do Sunday the 17th okay for you guys?
That's the weekend before Christmas.
And I think
It
there's
is
a
the
little
weekend before
history
Christmas.
amongst the board. We picked Sundays because it was always like, well, I can't do Tuesday, but I can do it early, I can't do it late, that kind of thing. So there's also a whole lot of the water cooler kind of chatter that goes on for the first half hour, and we found that the meetings weren't very productive when we do hour-long meetings, and we're all of a sudden, oh, time to go.
Yeah.
Right.
And so
right.
that we really get immersed into it and take that 2 or 3 hour time slot, but it doesn't have to be Sunday.
What about just a day after work? I mean, that's just throwing it out there, because I don't really want to work on it.
I'm
That's
okay
fine
to
with me
change
too.
it up. I'm
Yep.
okay to change it up.
Yeah,
Or
I mean,
maybe
if we
one
stay-
Sunday and one,
We could do one
We
Sunday and
we
one
could do a
after
Sunday in
work. Yeah.
January
Yes. that would
and
be
a
better.
weekday in December, just because December is a little bit tighter, I guess. What? No?
it just depends.
Well, I'm a little concerned that we're not gonna be ready, office ready, by the 10th. But before the 10th, which would get us to the 3rd. We're not gonna be ready on the 3rd.
What's wrong with the 17th?
I think other folks had plans on the
No, that was
17th.
the 10th, what they had.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's because it's 1 week before our Christmas Eve. I don't know. I'm okay.
So the 17th Friday? Oh, no,
No,
I'm
it's
looking
a
at
17th of December, yeah. And we've done 1 to 4 traditionally. We block out 1 to 4.
1 to 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't do that, just.
Oh, you can't do the 17th?
I don't know if you.
So
Let me-
before Christmas. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be baking, like, that's
Oh,
my baking.
Sundays
Oh,
in
is that your
December
baking
aren't
weekend?
really on my
Every
calendar.
weekend in December is my baking weekend, so. Except New Year's. I don't do anything for New Year's.
Right. I don't.
New Year's Day.
Okay, so then I'm okay with doing a weekday in December and a Sunday in January. And just looking at where we are now, I think after the 13th or later gives us 2.5 weeks. I think that's okay. What do you think, Sarah?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, looking at our calendars, 13th or 14th, either of those days after work, Wednesday or
what
Thursday.
does after
What
work
is- yeah,
mean
what's
for
that?
people?
6 o'clock? 6
6
o'clock? Too late or?
Well, I'm retired, so I
Oh.
just don't like dinner time meetings, but whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
I know,
you
I was
guys
thinking like
work,
4.
so.
Oh, you're, okay.
No,
Well,
I
could
can do all 4.
Yeah, 4 is tough for me. But I could do 5.
Go ahead.
Is 5 a little better?
Yeah.
5's better, then we
Yeah.
can eat after work and then.
Right.
On Thursday, the 14th, Laura Sibilia will be here at 6 o'clock.
Oh, she will? The
I
13th?
can't do the 13th.
Oh, you can't do the
So
13th.
13th,
This is
14th.
exactly what.
The 14th.
The 14th, Laura will be here.
I know, but he can't do the 13th. I was gonna try to push him to the 13th.
Oh, okay.
12th.
The 12th, you could do the 12th? Let me just see how much time that gives us. It's 2 weeks from tomorrow. So that means we have to have the Excel file done within 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Okay.
How are you feeling about that?
Mary's gone for 2 weeks, so.
She's
that's
gone for
not a lot
2
of
weeks.
extra time.
No, it's not, forget it,
Excuse
forget it.
everything, my
Sarah.
Forget it, we're going to the week of the 18th. Yeah, she's right.
Wait,
'Cause-
I'm sorry, the 17th was just, I mean, that's your baking day, not just, I don't care about your baking day, I don't mean it that way. That was the only reason.
Yeah, I mean, I could do it if we really need to, I mean.
Before 1,
I would be miserable and grumpy,
baking.
but I'll come.
Okay, I'm very free, so you guys,
I can't do the 17th either.
oh, that's right, you can, sorry.
This is hilarious.
What about Andy?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I,
Maybe we
Should
should
we
wait.
set this by email?
Should we do a Zoom meeting?
We can,
Yeah,
we
not,
can,
no, not for this,
Yeah.
not for this.
No, I meant to set the date.
Yeah,
administratively, we're
fine.
allowed, the
To
open
do
meeting
a
law
poll.
doesn't interfere with us as a board talking together to schedule
to
this.
schedule a meeting.
So we can take this
Right, we can do
offline.
that
Okay.
in email, it's not open meeting.
yeah, since it doesn't, since there seem to be more
Survey.
objections than agreements.
Yeah.
Yes.
Survey monkey or something.
Okay, so that was, those were the items for the regular meeting, and we can, now agree to review and approve the timesheets for the town office listers, highway and transfer station, so I make a motion to approve the timesheets for the town office listers, highway and transfer station.
Second.
Thank
And
you.
library.
And library. Why does, it's so funny. I forgot to add and library.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I cut and paste from, prior agenda.
Me too, I did that for 3 years. so-
Yeah, it's
Paul's
great.
fault.
Paul's fault.
Yeah, there we go, it's Paul's fault.
Well, maybe it was pre-municipal,
Yeah.
if that was before it was a municipal
Well,
library.
that was a long time ago. I hear you. So I have a second. Any discussion on the topic? With no discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next is reviewing and approving the pay orders, so I will make a motion to approve the pay orders.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion on pay orders? With no discussion, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Great. Public concerns. Karen.
Well, I just wanted to say that Santa Claus will be coming to Jamaica at the town hall on Sunday, December 17th at 2 o'clock.
The
Nice.
thing on the budget meeting.
Yeah.
2 o'clock.
You could bring us
An hour
candy.
out.
And I would like to dovetail on that, just completely from my own memory. Mary's having her festival of lights on that same day, after Santa Claus is done. For those of you who don't know, my sister does a big light thing up at the House of Prayer. And they do carols and hot chocolate and donuts and flash
Yes.
the lights on. And kids love it, and other people who are addicted to donuts and hot chocolate. But it dovetails with you nicely because it's after you're through with Santa. So Santa can come if you want.
So Santa is what time?
2 o'clock
2
on
o'clock.
17th, and I wish I had looked up to see when we're doing the tree lighting at the Common and having caroling.
Oh, I wish you had.
But it's the
said-
weekend before, I think it's the 9th.
So it's during, it's
We'll get the
when,
word out.
and it's when the, market will be open. and-
Right, the holiday bazaar, which will
Holiday
be
bazaar.
Friday, December 8th, Saturday the 9th, and Sunday the 10th. And it's a wonderful little craft fair type thing.
Right,
Yes.
food, drink.
Is that gonna be advertised?
It is being
It is on
advertised.
social
If you
media.
look at Jamaica, Vermont, Wolfpack
Right.
343 on the Facebook page, you'll see it.
Right.
Right, so for those not on Facebook. Brochures around town?
I'm sure that they're putting posters
Yeah,
up.
there's a poster up.
I haven't seen any yet, okay.
Okay.
It's a big pink,
There's one at the.
bright pink.
It's a really cute, it's a really
You
cute
should also
flyer.
at the library.
You should go to the library. It looks amazing, you should see it.
Yeah, right, it's commercial.
And we also have Secret Santa in Jamaica. Maybe you've seen it. There's a tree, a little tree at the store, and kids in need, families in need, are able to put their children on there, and people buy Christmas for these families and these kids. And no video games or anything, but it's clothing and toys and
Art
bedding and things
supplies.
like that, art supplies, yes. Outdoor
Books.
toys.
Sleds.
Yes.
Lots of sleds.
Lots of sleds.
Dolls.
Done that before.
Right, right, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Kids are creative. Thank you,
So
Karen.
that's all I've got.
Yeah, and that's at West River Provisions, that's right.
Yes, and there will be a tree up at our mother's garden also.
Oh, no kidding. So it's new this year, right?
We did that last year
Oh, you did?
also. And
Okay,
it was great, they're wonderful.
perfect, perfect. Thank you for, I had no idea. Any other items from the public? Not, no, okay. Well, thank you everyone for coming. And I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you.